Hi, I'm Don Hoover. I'm the new General Manager, Director of Live Racing and Racing Secretary here at Batavia Downs Gaming and Hotel. I've been in the horse business for close to 50 years. I was born in North Tonawanda, New York. Went to college outside of Schenectady, Union College. While I was in college, I became Saratoga Springs is obviously a large horse town for both standard breds and thoroughbreds. And I started going to the harness races in college and just really liked it. I thought it was very interesting. Back in the 70s, there were huge crowds. If you were a harness driver, you were kind of a celebrity. It was on the nightly news every night. Well, I had the opportunity, since I left Saratoga and before I came to Batavia, I had the opportunity to race at every single racetrack in New York State. And quite honestly, Batavia has the best overall facility of any of the tracks in New York State. They've redone the clubhouse. The clubhouse is great. Some of the tracks don't even open their clubhouses anymore. Actually, the majority of them don't open their clubhouses or on a very limited basis. The track surface here was always a place that I liked to come race. The track's always in great shape. Just the overall ambiance of Batavia Downs, from when you walk in the lobby downstairs, whether you're coming to play slots or coming to get something to eat, coming to watch the races. I know it's a cliche, the friendly track, but it's actually true. You feel it right when you walk in. The Director of Live Racing is more or less in charge of every facet of live racing, whether when I came, I had to go out and find a new announcer, and I was lucky to find Wayne. A couple other positions that were left vacant. The track photographer retired. We got an outrider, which is a girl that leads the post parade, and if there's any accident or loose horses, she'll corral the loose horse to prevent further injury or any injury. My assistant, I'm basically all the little things that go on behind the scenes. I'm in charge of making sure that all the equipment's operational that's related to live racing. General Manager, Director of Live Racing, you're dealing with patrons on a daily basis, and you try to make sure that the experience is as pleasant as it can be for the patrons. You keep that in mind of where they're going to watch the races, whether it be out on the apron, in the clubhouse, the picnic tables outside of Park Place there. Try to put yourself in the position, because I have been a patron, you put yourself in the position of being a patron and what you expect when you walk in. You see the gentleman or lady that sits and sells the live program, so you don't have to wander around and think, well, gee, where can I get a program so I can bet the races? You try to foresee all these things, and you try to make sure everything's in place, food and beverage, everything's in place to make it as enjoyable an experience for the patron as it can be. The racing secretary is actually in charge of putting the races together. So you have a horse population that is right here at your track. We actually had a stall meeting today, and we're going to give out over 200 permanent stalls. So you have those horsemen here with all different level of horses, and then you have another group of horsemen that prefer to ship in from other places, whether it be their own farm or a different racetrack. And you write what's called a condition sheet, keeping in mind the level of horse you have and the amount of earnings, et cetera, that they would have, where you can put together a live race card of 9, 10, 11, 12 races, and they'll all be as full of field as you can have. Sometimes when you're in the higher classes, you might only have 6 really good horses, but you try to have 8 horse fields. Your job is to try to get the horses raced on a standard breds, basically almost a weekly schedule. You don't want horses standing in the barn and not being able to participate. So you just try to write classes that get all the horses raced. You try to make sure the races are competitive. You don't want to have somebody, standing out over the field. And sometimes you can't help it. There'll be an overwhelming favorite in a stake race, or a young horse that looks very impressive, still fits the conditions, so it'll be an overwhelming favorite. But you try to basically put on competitive racing, full fields, and get everybody raced. I actually trained horses last year, and this past February I forget where I was going to. I was in the car and I got a call from Henry and Scott here at Batavia asking me if I would be interested in coming back to the management side and actually having a dual role as general manager of live racing and as racing secretary. So I thought about it for a day or two, called them back and said, yeah, I'm interested. And then we set up an interview, and the rest is history. I accepted their offer, and I'm very glad that I'm here at Batavia. They should expect to have full fields and competitive racing. They should expect to be welcomed when they come through the doors. They should at ease here at Batavia Downs, and they're basically, as general manager, my door's always open. Little things here and there that some fan may be annoyed with, I address all those issues. Same with the horsemen. If you can't keep everybody happy 100% of the time, so I try my best to make it friendly. Batavia Downs the friendly place.